We are going to welcome everyone. Hey, I am Will Castro, the founder of Triad Cyber Solutions, and we're your friendly neighborhood cybersecurity experts. We're always on the ground to help keep your cyber attacks at bay. So think of us as the good guys, making sure the bad guys have a tough time every day, right? Every day of the year. So giving you peace of mind in the digital world. Well, today we're tackling a topic that most business owners would rather avoid, but simply can't afford to. And of course, who wouldn't be scared of the fact that a tiny oversight could let hackers swipe all access in a flash. But it's a reality we need to know and face this head on. And if you're wondering how to avoid that, you're in the right place. That's the whole point of our Lunch and Learn series. And this seventh webisode, we'll chat about why monthly penetration testing is important for your business. So it's not a flying solo here. I've got a team of experts with me today who's diverse in the skill set that has made this cyber defense walk in the park for all of our customers. So they will be here to answer all your questions, and whatever you have, put them in the chat. So today we have Chantel. She's our VP of Operations and Client Relations. We have Wasim. He's our Senior Technician, who you'll be speaking to a lot more of. You have Micah, who's our Office Manager. Ralph, he's our Marketing Manager and Web Designer. All right, you're ready to dive in? Let's get ready to get dived in. Now, kind of reiterate what we do, okay? We provide these services to small and medium-sized businesses. As you look, we provide cybersecurity client compliance management. We provide preparation for cybersecurity maturity certification, which is CMMC. We also leverage your National Institute of Standards of Technology, which is called NIST. That's another piece of compliance. And then we also help you with the compliance piece of HIPAA, which is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Now, at the end of this webisode, we will have a full grasp of what penetration testing is, why it's necessary, what the benefits are, and how to implement penetration testing, the cost benefits of penetration testing, and how we can help. So if you have any questions at all, please put them in the chat. If you're looking for a more detailed response, I recommend you wait till the end of this webinar, where we'll have a dedication of Q&A session. So if you got questions, drop them in the chat. I'll address them as we go. If you're looking for more detailed, we'll have a Q&A section. All right, so penetration testing. Penetration testing is like hiring a professional hacker to break into the system. But don't worry, they're good guys. These experts, also known as ethical hackers, simulate real cyber attacks to find weaknesses in your defenses. It's a proactive way to ensure that your systems are robust and secure. At Triad Cyber Solutions, we kick things off by gathering detailed information about your system. We're mapping out potential weak spots. We use specialized tools to scan for open ports that hackers could exploit. Then we can test those vulnerabilities to see if we can break in them. And don't worry, we're still on your side. So we try to stay undetected, assesses the damage, the potential damage that is there, and leave you with a comprehensive report from A to Z. And from there, you can leave it to us to fix. Think of it as a security checkup. So you can fix issues before real threats become nothing. Imagine this. You're faced with a choice. On one side, you have the good guys ready to hack and fix things. Then on the other side, you had the bad girl, the bad guys, the bad guys lurking, waiting to hack and make off with every single thing you have, and then leave you in ruins. Now, here's the kicker. The cost of having the good guys on your side is nothing compared to the devastation the bad guys can bring. Having the good guys is a small price to pay for peace of mind and security. After all, it's better safe than sorry. There are two types of penetration testing. There's virtual penetration, which is like a VPN, and then there's a manual testing. The VPN is like having a digital Sherlock Holmes on your team. It uses automated tools to scan your system and networks for vulnerabilities. But think of it as Sherlock using his magnifying glass to kind of look and see you at the spots, right? On the other hand, manual testing is more like having a seasonal detective on a case. It involves a real human expert digging deep into the systems, mimicking the techniques of a real attacker. This is where the detective carefully examines the crime scene, looking for any hidden clues that automated tools might miss. So let's say your company has a website. VPN will be running a quick scan to check for common vulnerabilities, like leaving the front door unlocked. Meanwhile, manual testing would be like having a detective examining every nook and cranny of your website, looking for any additional backdoor or weak spots that could be exploited. But both VPN and manual testing have their strengths. VPN is fast and efficient, while manual is thorough and detailed. It's perfect for uncovering complex vulnerabilities that humans cannot initiate. Well, what kind of vulnerabilities are ethical hackers on for the lookout? Or, put simply, what do cyber attackers love to exploit? Well, attackers love, they're like digital detective, hunting for weaknesses such as outdated software that has not been updated or patched could be a potential entry point. Weak passwords. One of the most ones that people like using is password 123, especially all lowercase. Come on, what happened to using the letters, numbers, and symbols? You have to basically mix that. You can do the word password, but you got to do a capital P. Instead of the A, put the @ sign. You can do one S. The next S can be the number 5. Then you can put a W. Instead of O, you can put a 0. Then you can put an R. Then you can put a D. You can use 1, 2, 3, but then use a $ or exclamation point at the end. Something different. Just not something very simple that anyone can figure it out. But that's what the normal people, a lot of people use that same simple password just for that. Now, moving to unsecure networks. Your networks aren't properly encrypted or even authenticated. You might be a few days or hours from being hacked. Even right now, as we speak, when you're watching this webinar, you could actively be hacked right now. Someone could be in your network as we speak right now. But it doesn't mean when someone's in your network, everything goes down. A lot of times they sit and they wait to attack or when to shut you down at a moment that you're not wanting anything to happen. The next thing will be misconfigured systems, incorrect settings that leaves your system open for attacks. Do you know the biggest vulnerability to your business? Unaware employees. That's one of the biggest vulnerabilities to your business is unaware employees. If you're an employee here, no need to feel bad. You're in the right place to learn. In many social engineering attacks, employees are the first line of defense, but they might not recognize a phishing email or a sneaky tactic. And boom, attackers have breached right into your system. That's why Triad Cyber Solutions, we offer courses to teach employees how to protect their employees' businesses. In today's digital world, businesses are dealing with a nonstop wave of cyber attacks. Attackers are always getting more and more clever with their attacks. So it's not really a question of if your business will get hit, but when. The reality is that businesses are getting hacked all the time, and the fallout can be pretty serious, from losing money to taking a hit in your reputation. That's why regular penetration testing is so crucial. It's no longer a once a year thing. No longer. It's like having a sneak peek into your own vulnerabilities before the bad guys do. So it's a secret weapon against cyber attacks because it exposes your weak spots before hackers can exploit them. So instead of waiting for an attack to happen and then scrambling to try to fix it, being proactive instead of reactive, penetration testing lets you stay ahead and of the game and keep your business safe. With the rise in cyber attacks, businesses are losing millions and millions every single year. And guess what? The healthcare industry has been hit the hardest in 2024. And it's only July. It's only July. So, what's more worrisome? The United States has held the record of the highest number of breaches for a long time. The US economy is a target for hackers from all around the world. So, if you think you're safe because you're not in the healthcare field, then think again. Cyber attackers don't care what industry. They don't care. They take care, all they care about is the money. They care about the money. That's it. They even go to go after a witch doctor. It doesn't matter who it is. Okay. In April of 2024, the 8-base ransom game hit the United Nations Development Program. Yes, they did. If you remember, if you've seen the news, there's a gang that's out in Russia. They're the gang that's supposedly being behind it. Cannot verify, but the gang has changed their name, and now this is the name of the gang here. But they're still going after them, but they can't get them. But they're holding ransom of millions of dollars, and these companies still are not back up and running, fully operable. The breach ended up with a ton of sensitive data being wiped, including personal information, certificates, contracts, invoices, receipts, and so much more. And they demanded a huge ransom for it. And the same, April, Kaiser, a healthcare company covering 40 hospitals, 616 medical facilities as of 2022, suffered a severe data breach affecting over 13 million people. 13 million. You may need to look and see if your name is in part with that because you could be part of that breach. And then look in the mail because you could eventually be receiving some type of severance, those small little, what do you call them? Those settlements, but it may pay you because the company was sued because of a breach of information. So many smaller breaches that don't even make the news, but they can be just as devastating. And February of this year, February 2024, the healthcare group got hit by a ransom attack, affecting about 1/3 of United States citizens. And they had to pay $22 million in ransom. 22 million. Repairs and fines cost nearly $900 million. But what about the lost trust amongst the stakeholders and the patients? The money is one thing, but rebuilding trust is a whole nother challenge. And just when you thought it couldn't be any worse, the CDK Global, that's a software provider used by many car dealerships across North America, suffered a severe double attack. As of right now, they even stopped support. CDK does not even provide support at all to the dealerships and has actually recommended them to seek third-party counsel and support services until further notice. They've also instructed the car dealerships that they will not be servicing or doing any tech support until further notice. That's how severe it is. The first breach stuck on Tuesday, June 18th. And while the company was recovering, another attack hit on Wednesday, June 19th. In response to that, CDK took its data centers offline to prevent further spread. That's the double hit that they received, leaving car sales for users of the software just hanging. Hackers never seem to take a break, and all they need is one little opening, one little vulnerability, one little unpatched software, or one weak password, and that's it. Your history. It's just a matter of time. And again, as we speak right now, they can be in your system as we speak right now. But the only way to find out is to do penetration testing. The aftermath is usually a bigger and much bigger mess. So big that businesses don't get to recover. So do you want to be part of that? I don't think so. Let me ask you another question. If you had to choose, would you prefer to pay a large ransom after a breach or a smaller amount to prevent the breach altogether? The choice is crystal clear to me. Crystal clear. Now, regular penetration testing is like always being at home. We just talked about VPN. Now we're going to talk about regular penetration testing. Again, knowing an intruder can show up at any moment and checking and sealing potential entry points. It's a big advantage over someone who doesn't realize their door is open, leaving them vulnerable. What regular penetration testing does, it is always on top of your security. It's making sure it's solid. It helps you catch vulnerabilities before they become a problem. Plus, it saves you from getting hit with hefty fines for not meeting the industry standards. And it builds trust with your partners and your clients. So clients often ask me, well, how strong is your security posture and when was it last tested? So I'm asking you the same question. How strong is your security posture and when was it last tested? Put that in the chat. If you can tell me when was the last time your network, whether you work in your office or you work at home, working remote, when was the last time you had your network and your security tested? Well, I say this, whether you know or not, there's no point of beating yourself up. It's never too late to start. So unless you decide to put it off again after today, now the negligence become back to you. Okay. To get monthly testing into your security plan, first pick the days that you want to be tested each month. Then decide what parts of your security you will test and what you want to achieve. Choose the right testing methods, like using tools or doing it manually. But based on what you need, make sure make sure that someone is in charge of doing these tests and looking at the results. After testing, look at the results to find your weak spots. Make a plan to fix these issues and boost your security. Keep checking and changing your testing to keep your security strong. And most importantly, remember that your internal IT team are not penetration testers. Okay? Collaborate with professionals to get the job done. Let me reiterate that. Most people feel like, hey, I'm not interested in this because we have an IT team. We already have cybersecurity. Well, do you know what cybersecurity looks like? Even just doing this penetration testing is just another sign to show how well your current system is in place. So what I tell people is, hey, if you have a team in place, great. But make sure they are giving you reports to show what your weaknesses are. If they're not showing you anything on a monthly basis, they don't even know. The current IT people, the IT departments of what they do, which is the break fix model, that's outdated. That's been outdated now 5 to 10 years ago. So if you don't evolve and take initiative now to see, you know what you guys have been doing has been working. Let's face it, your team might have Semantic on there, Semantic from Norton. They may have ESET. They may be using Malwarebytes. Or this is the one that's even more funny. Or they come up and say, we're just going to use a regular Windows Defender that's provided by Microsoft Windows. We got Windows 11, so we're protected because there's more security. If you have that in place, you definitely need to make a call with us, like literally schedule this call right now, literally, okay? Because I hear that and I'm laughing because I've had three potential clients that I've had a meeting with, and their current IT person says that they have Windows Defender, and that's all that they need. Anyway, I'm gonna get back on track because before I lose time, but I'm telling you, that's a no. If you're running just McAfee, Norton, ESET, Panda, I don't care what name, Kaspersky, it doesn't matter. And they have all these bells and whistles. They got this VPN connection. I'm telling you, you're not fully safe. Period. Dot. Anyway, I'm gonna get back on track. So the most important thing to remember though is, again, collaborate with professionals to get the job done right the first time. Okay. So if you want to ask why, you'll have plenty of time to do so on a discovery call with me. I kind of shared a little bit just right then, and I apologize for getting a little bit too happy with that, but I wanted to kind of share you what my passion of trying to show someone, I'm trying to encourage, I teach, That's one thing that we do that a lot of the companies don't do is we're not looking at just, we're going to do it and just do it alone. We're going to be here to teach you also. So that way you also are aware. You're not just kept left in the, just lost and just in the dark. You know, a lot of people just say, hey, we'll just do everything and then that's it. And all you're doing is just hoping that and praying that they're doing everything they're supposed to do. But we have you involved just enough so you know what's going on. So if someone does ask you, oh yeah, well, yep, we got Triad Cyber Solutions. They're handling all our security and they be teaching us and telling us stuff. They're always informing us and giving us more information. Okay, just like that. Anyway, so here we go. So what is the cost benefit of a penetration test? I know I've been mentioning about cost a little bit, not really, but maybe I haven't emphasized this enough. Okay. The cost of monthly penetration testing is like a drop in the ocean compared to what a cyber attack could do to you. In the event of a cyber attack, you lose not only money, but you also suffer a tarnished reputation and loss of client trust. And which business would want to suffer this? Your guess is good as mine because I don't see anybody who want to suffer this type of cost. So what do we do now? What are we going to do after we get off of this call? Well, hopefully you're going to enjoy your lunch, right? But you're also going to take your security in your hands. You're going to be proactive about protecting your business. And all of it is in a meeting. We actually are opening up our scheduling to include discovery calls this week and next week. In these discovery calls, I get to know you and you get to know me, and we get to talk about where your security stands right now. I want to know what your pains are. I want to know what you feel like is working and what's not working. I want to know what you would like to see. I want to know, do you have an understanding of what you need to know? And if not, I am here to help you understand it. I'm not here to talk down to you. I'm here to educate. If you have a current IT team, we also can work with them. We can do what is called co-manage. So we can help and do co-manage and help everyone as a whole. So from there, we will get your penetration testing scheduled. We will start making a plan to strengthen your security posture. And right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Micah drop that scheduling link in the chat. But we will also have a QR code here on the next slide that you can scan on your phone if that's easier for you. Now, however you do it, please don't wait until it's too late. Again, you may have something as we speak right now. The way viruses and ransom work is they pick and choose when they want to shut you down. You might be doing payroll. You might be doing a very important report or a presentation. You might have to do some financial documents for the bank or for the stakeholders. You might be doing something so important that as soon as we all know, internet is so powerful these days, right? So when the internet drops, it's like we're in a frenzy. We have no idea what to do, where we're going to start. Like, oh my gosh, right? When your computer freezes up and you're working on something, and all of a sudden it freezes and locks up and you can't do anything, and you haven't saved that document, we all panic and we're all frantic, right? That's how it works. So what I'm saying to you is, right now as we speak, there's nothing wrong with trying to get we have a free testing, a free externals testing, just to kind of see what's going on as an external. But then once we go to our meeting, we'll do a full blown, which provides and gives a lot more information. But for right now, the best thing to do is to click on that link and schedule. Okay. So that way we can talk and get to know and find out what is going on in your network as we speak. Okay. Here is that QR code that you can schedule that call. And again, if you're on the phone, Chantel or Micah, they shared the scheduling link in the chat. Do not leave your business security to change to a chance of just being hit. Think about this. There's so many things we haven't even talked about. We talked about today, excuse me, penetration testing. We talked about several types of penetration testing. Okay. So what we're trying to do now is just offer you something that's usually not free on the external side, but we thank you for joining us here, right? I thank you very much for joining and taking the time to come out to our Lunch and Learn series where we're offering this at no cost. Normally, this is a cost to join this webinar. This is valuable information you can literally take and go back and to strengthen your defenses. But we want to be able to help you with that. So when we can help you with this, I feel like if you can, the link, we have the QR code and we have the scheduling link. Please take this serious. I just shared with you a couple stories. Major companies were hit just not even 30 days ago. Major companies were hit for millions of dollars. And I hope you have insurance, cybersecurity insurance, because if you don't, if you're one of those companies that got hit, your insurance will not even pay the ransom fee. They won't pay the fines. They won't pay the reputational damages that you're going to receive. Your business future is on the line. So isn't it worth 30 minutes to just ensure that you're protected instead of risking a devastating hack? I think so. All right. So I'm not here to scare you. I want to make sure I also clear that up. I'm not here to scare you, but what I do want you to understand is just like anything. This is Triad Cyber Solutions. This is the business. This is my business. I have a team that we are so passionate about protecting, helping, and protecting these people. I don't want anything to happen to us, so we're taking our measures very seriously. And what we're doing is producing a bunch of information now to make sure this happens. Okay? So, if there's anything that we covered today that you're curious about, now's the chance to ask. So, let's see if there are any questions. Let's see. We have one. Okay. So one question is, how can we identify the vulnerabilities on our network devices? Well, that's a great question. Doing the penetration testing, that does help. Two, we have other pieces of the testing that will pull up all of the devices, pull up basically any kind of PCs, workstations, printers, whatever devices you have. It'll pull those up. It'll give us that comprehensive report, and it'll be a detailed report showing us which machines has the highest vulnerability at the highest cost and what cost. It also tells us where we need to do more work at. Okay, next one. I've always thought that my IT department will cater to my penetration testing needs. So this was definitely an eye opener. I just want to be sure if you do penetration testing, on my systems and break in, What do you do next? The main thing we're doing is gathering information about your system. We're gathering information about your workstation, about your network, about how your maybe passwords being exposed, all types of other security protocols that are actually involved with what is called the FTC safeguard rules. So all the compliance issues, we want to make sure when we get inside, it's going to be pulling data to kind of share with you all of the compliance regulatory issues that need to be addressed. Okay, let's say I have a healthcare portal. What's the first thing I need to do if my software is affected by malware? Well, one of the first things you need to do if it's affected by malware is to call us. Book that appointment with us first. And that's number one. You call CCS, which is the number and information that is there. You email us, and we will start looking at mitigating. The second thing to do is really to don't do anything else. Take your PC offline. Because what could happen is the things that can happen is, let's say you change your password, you start making changes. Well, the hackers inside your PC watching every single thing you do. So anything you change and you fix, well, now they know what you changed and you fixed. So now they're going to redo exactly what you did. And it's going to be a kind of a chain effect, and they're going to keep going. It's going to keep going and going and going and going. So now they're going to really be playing with you, and they're going to really shut something down and make it even worse. So that's why I recommend the first thing you do is get on the phone, give us a call and say, hey, I need to make an appointment. I'd like to schedule a discovery call with a technician or with me, Will, to see what's going on. I feel like I've been hacked. I've been hit. Okay. Also, how can hackers misuse our sensitive data? Wow. How they can misuse it? They can exploit it. They can put it out into the dark web. They can now take all your personal information. They can take your EIN number. They can take your client's information and put it all out in the dark web, making it accessible to people that should not even know anything about them. That's how. The next thing is, being that everyone has some type of HIPAA compliance, now it throws you out of compliance because there's sensitive data out there. You don't have the consent from your clients for their information to be put out there. Now you're talking about reputational damages, which that's what can happen with the hackers misusing that data. It can get very, very ugly, and to the point where they can lock down outside accounts. Meaning, let's say if you go to, I don't know, you have a doctor's office and they have a portal. Now that portal, like I have one that's called, it's with Duke. So I have a portal that's with Cone Health, and Duke Med. So Duke Med, if my information gets hacked, where the sensitive data is taken, they can lock out my access, and all types of things can happen. A lot of bad things. Okay, next one is, what would you say is the most common type of information that you see breach or breach first, and even just your external security scan? A lot of times it's email. A lot of times it's uh, email compromise that people have not even known for years. A lot of times an email could have been created by an individual that is not even with the company. A lot of times you will see sensitive data, meaning social security numbers of some type is being exposed on that computer. Now I have one customer tell me, there was like, well, we don't deal with social security numbers. I can't see everybody's social security number, but they do payroll. Well, guess what? Because payroll is a sensitive sensitive information, it is a common document that can be used to be hacked, breached, and pushed out there. So the external scan is going to also pull in a lot of times some outside emails, some of your domain issues. It can your domain issue mean, let's say your name is ABC, like info at abc.com, abc123.com. Well, the abc123.com is your domain. So that is a domain that we would do all the testing on. So when we're doing that testing, we're checking to see all the security on that domain. And within that, we can tell if there's extra emails that were created. We can tell whose email in your company. If there's been information where that person's email has been exploited out into the dark web where bad stuff was happening, a lot of times we don't even know that our email has been compromised. So email being compromised, those pieces. Okay. So that's where that comes in. What about internal threats? Can penetration tests find those vulnerabilities too? Yes, what penetration test is really going to be doing is after we find what is in there and what's out there and what we have to mitigate, the penetration testing is going to help us make sure, yes, that nothing is sitting in there, nothing has came back, nothing is trying to lurk. That's what that's going to do. So anything that shouldn't be there, that's where we're going to find that penetration testing. These are great. Can a weak password alone put me at risk? Absolutely. Definitely. The weak password, I mean, that's kind of your key, right? You know, everyone uses the key for the most part. I have like the key code at my door at my house, but I have a key key option, but we all have a code, which is a password. So if the password is like a key to your home. So if you had no key to your home and you can't lock your front door, it makes it so they can go straight in. So that's what a weak password is. Weak password allows that person to get straight in, no issues. They can just get right in with no problems. Or it's a combination of factors. It definitely is a combination of factors. Um, Again, passwords, weak network security protocols, weak security meaning not having the proper security protection can be a problem. You have some vulnerabilities where there's some things that's causing the network to not be secure, meaning like your kids. A lot of kids are at home now for the summer. So when the kids are at home playing video games and they're downloading all of these free games and free apps and doing all this stuff on their cell phones, that makes you very susceptible to a hack or just an attack, period. So absolutely. There are many, many factors that can determine if you get hit, um, or whatever the case may be. All right. Any more questions? Those were really all good. And to be honest, a lot of these questions really tailor around telling it gives me like, let's say if this was someone and they was asking me these questions would be giving me a great layout, a great foundation of what your network, what your infrastructure, what your whole just your whole security posture looks like. A lot of these questions can determine the type of leaks and the holes and the weak vulnerability spots that could be exploited. So I suggest that if you have these areas in your network, definitely take the time to schedule that appointment so we can go on and try to mitigate and see what we can do to try to help you. And again, if you don't know, please just schedule the appointment and we can talk about it and take it from there. So here, I want to thank everyone again for joining us today and spending some time with you and with your lunch, with me and my team. And thank my one. I want to thank my team for navigating the chat and also putting the links in the chat. So thank you all very much. Very much appreciate it. So don't forget to schedule that discovery call. The QR code is also there at the bottom left corner. So if you want to scan it, Mike again will drop the link in the chat, so everyone can make sure they have it. But again, reach out to us via phone, email, social media, or or the contact info again is on the screen. So, but I want you to go ahead and enjoy the rest of your lunch. Have a great day, and I hope to be talking to you soon. Thank you all very much.